Welcome back to Relatable Wisdom, where everyday people share the quotes that shape their perspective, offering gentle insights we can all carry with us through our daily lives. Today I'm joined by Jenny Ahmed, a best-selling science fiction author who weaves real science into stories of survival and possibility. As a woman with degrees in medicine, genetics, and astrobiology, she's carved out her own unique space in a genre where she knows she's something of an oddity and she's embracing every bit of it. Let's settle in and hear the words that have guided Jenny's remarkable journey. Tell us your name and what you do.
My name is Jenny Ahmed, and I am a writer. Actually, I'm several things. I'm also a registered nurse, a nurse practitioner, and I write sci-fi and political thriller books.
Yeah. Well, okay. What's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote, you'll find on my Facebook. It's, "I can sleep when I'm dead." And the reason why I say that is because life is really precious. And I believe that every possible second should be spent enjoying life and doing something to make it better.
When I was about to join this meeting, I was going through the form you filled when you booked the meeting, and when I saw the quote, I was like, "Ooh, this is interesting," because I've heard the quote before, but now that it's your favorite, so I guess
I
you
guess
have
someone else used it, but I kind of thought it was my own because I was writing it myself.
you can sleep
But
when you're dead.
yeah, and you know, I take that. I literally apply that literally. I usually stay up all night. I'm usually writing till about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I'll lay down for a couple of hours, and then I'm back up again writing, and same thing, different day. But
Oh.
I try. I want to leave my imprint on the world.
Yeah.
And you can only do that when you're busy living. You can't do it when you're sleeping.
Yeah, I can do it when you're sleeping. Wow. Okay. Let's see where this goes. Okay.
That's really on my Facebook page. I kid you not.
Yeah, it's the kind of quote that once you drop it, right? You see how do I explain it now? When you drop it,
sounds like a negative.
no, yeah, it sounds, it's not like it sounds insensitive. Yeah, that's the word. Especially when you say it to someone and like, oh well, I've been doing this stuff. I've been trying to. You can sleep when you're dead, and you're like, my boss is so strict.
It does hit that way, but I look at it in a totally different way. You know, a lot of people complain about getting old and about getting gray hair. And I think back when I was a kid, of friends that I lost in school that never had the chance to get gray hair. So I really don't complain about getting gray hair.
Yeah.
And now that my kids are getting older and my son's now sporting a semi-gray beard and he's complaining, I'm like, don't ever complain, because I know people that have passed away when they were young and they don't have that chance to have families and gray hair. So I never complain about getting old.
Yeah. You see, I like the way you just put it. Sometimes we treat our blessings like a curse.
Yes, that's very true. And there is that Bible verse that talks about having the crown of gray hair. I think that's in, I think it's in Ecclesiastes, maybe? I don't remember. But I remember having the hair of gray. Wear it with honor.
Oh, okay. I think I can remember the verse in Proverbs that says something like the strength of the youth.
Yeah, it's in that way, but it talks about how gray hair is a blessing.
Yeah, and then the beauty of the old is their gray hair, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow.
I think
You
about
can sleep.
that.
Yeah, you can sleep. So for me right now, I'm trying to wrap my head around why is it that this is your favorite quote? Like, I mean, I get it when you're like, oh, this is one of my quotes that I like the quotes, right? But then you're like, no, this is my favorite.
I see people wasting time. Especially the kids, they're always on their phone or they're in front of their video games or something. I'm like, you're wasting your life. You need to do something. Well, what are we supposed to do, Mom? Well, I don't know. Think of something. Write something. Be something. Go outside. Talk to people. Talk to an old person, make them happy. There's a lot of old people that like to talk. I'm one of them.
Ah,
So
I guess.
what I used to do with my kids when they would misbehave, or when they would be lazy around the house playing their video games, I used to make them come sit in the kitchen with me, and I would be doing something, cooking dinner or whatever, and they would be sitting sit in the kitchen with me, and my son's like, "Mom, can't you just beat us like normal parents?"
Yeah. Yeah, so that we can go back doing what we were doing before
Just
before
beat us,
this.
Mom.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, I like that approach.
yeah, yeah. In a second, in a short while, I'll come to, I'll try to like contradict the quote, but before then, you can sleep while when you're dead is a quote that, it tries to tell people not to waste time,
Yeah, exactly. That's what it
right?
is.
And I just want to be clear, the quote is not saying that you should not sleep. It's just saying that, yeah, because a lot of persons are like, oh, is she saying that she does not sleep? No, no, that's not what the quote is saying.
If you're
Instead, the
awake
quote,
for 16 hours a day, you need to live 17 hours and 59 minutes and 59 seconds of that day. You need to do something positive. You need to do
yeah,
something to give you a better name, advance yourself in life, something with a purpose. Just don't waste your time. There's
yeah,
so many things that waste time. And the adage that the older people have the wisdom, that's true, because youth they waste a lot of it. No
yeah.
wisdom.
I think the thing is, when with age, as you grow older, you realize the value of time. But then you spend so much to realize that value that you just can't make that trade. So you're just trying to make much of what is left.
And I think there comes a time when you reach a certain age, and what that age is, I don't know, but it happened to me, where things kind of click into sense. Like you're watching TV and you see an actor and you see their age, they're like 89, and you're like, oh my goodness, I remember them when they were so young.
Yeah,
Everybody is now like in their 80s. But
yeah,
yeah, time goes
yeah,
quick. Time
yeah.
goes
I
quick.
get it. Yeah, mine is a little bit different. I just
What's your
I
quote?
I look at I think there's this movie called The Sound of Music,
Yes, yes, I like that.
and for me, I look at the movie and I'm like, so I just can't believe that this actress or actor is dead, and I'm like, well, yeah, I am watching the movie, and this is a really good movie, and I'm like, that realization that they did this while they were alive, and now over the passage of time they've grown old, and of course not no one who can live forever,
She
and I'm
left
like,
her
wow,
imprint on the world.
yeah, yeah, that for me, I'm like, and then it gets me start asking myself, what would I leave behind that will make someone ask, oh, I can't believe that the person that did this thing is dead.
Well, see, here you are. You're doing something. You're putting energy out into the world. That's what it's all
Yeah,
about. You got to put energy out in the world.
yeah. Thank you, Jenny. Oh, you can like I feel like right now I've been hopping from meetings to meetings. I had to like wash my face with water, so so I won't
You
fall
got to drink
asleep
a
in
lot of
this call.
coffee. You got to
Yeah,
drink a lot of coffee.
yeah, yeah,
Today my day started late. I woke up at 9:30. I went to bed at 6, but I woke up at 9:30, and I was thinking today is Sunday. And then I was like just aghast when I saw it was Monday, and I thought of something I had to do, and it was today, but I was thinking it was yesterday, and then I got my day straight. I got my little calendar, everything on it, my to-do lists and everything, and I just took off getting everything I needed to get done.
yeah, yeah. I just want us to step back to the example you were giving, and that is when you look back, you can count a lot of persons that did not even make it up to their teens while you were still young. There are a lot of them that did not even make it up to their 20s or 30s, and now it's an opportunity for you. It's a privilege. It's a gift, a very expensive gift.
I think about one of my close friends. We were in Girl Scouts together. Her name was Darlinda. And her and I grew up together. Our moms were best friends. And She ended up becoming a teacher. Oh my goodness, it's been at least 25 years since she's been gone. She was driving from her house to her boyfriend's house late at night and she fell asleep. It was just a short drive, not even a mile. And she fell asleep behind the wheel, hit a tree, and passed away. And
Let's take a quick pause. If you're enjoying this conversation and want more thought-provoking ideas straight to your inbox, join the Relatable Wisdom email list. It's free, quick, and filled with bite-sized insights, inspiring quotes, and behind-the-scenes reflections from our guests. Just head to relatablewisdom.com/join. That is relatablewisdom.com/join. Or tap the link in the show notes. And hey, subscribing to the podcast helps more than you think, and it's free. So if you haven't already, hit that follow button wherever you're listening. All right, let's get back to the conversation.
I was to myself, she never had a chance. Her and her boyfriend never got married. They had their wedding set. They never got married. She never had children. And, I often thought of her mom because she was the only daughter. And I think about her a lot. And I think about friends that I had, like in middle school, that died in car accidents with their parents. Two students I went to school with that happened to. And I think about them. I don't know if my other classmates think about them, but I think about them and I'm sitting here, alive. And, if they had that time back, I can imagine what they would have brought into the world. So I think about that for myself moving forward, that I just can't be lazy. I got to do things. I got to live my life to the fullest.
Yeah, you just sharing this story reminds me of a scene in one of these war movies. I can't remember the exact name, but maybe when I say the plot, you remember. And it involves it has to do with the Nazi war.
Uh-huh.
And what they needed to do, they had one mission, and that was to blow up the bridge.
Oh yes, Brad Pitt was in that movie, wasn't he?
I can't remember, but I know Tom Hanks was in the movie.
I think I know the movie you're talking about.
Okay, so at the end of the day, he was sent. Like at the end of the day, what happened was that a soldier sacrificed, and he took a gunshot wound, and he was later spared, and he could not even believe his eyes that he's alive. And before the soldier died, he was like, said, "Make use of this gift and make use of this life." And he went on. And he had kids and all that. And, one of the days when he was really old and they were doing veterans, I think D-Day, I don't know. Yeah, they were just celebrating people that died during the war. He was just reminiscing on that gift he was giving. And that scene is etched in my head. I just don't know why I can't remember the name, but it's a war movie, right? Their goal was go blow up the bridge. And that was just a simple goal.
Wow. I think as far as like with me personally, I'm lucky to be here. If certain people had their way, I wouldn't be here. My father was born in Germany, and we're Jewish. And my family used to own a chain of grocery stores and butcher shops. And imagine one day waking up and hearing a television message that you no longer own your business. It was repatriated to the country. And then the next day, their bank accounts, all your money was repatriated to the company. Well, my grandparents, my father was one of 5 kids, and they were leaving Germany. They were trying to come here. And my grandmother and my father got stopped. The rest of the family made it, but my father and my grandmother were put in the camps. And when they got to Auschwitz, my father was really smart. And we would just observe things, and he saw that the little kids were being separated, and the big kids were going this way, and the little kids were going that way. And my father figured what happened with the little kids wasn't going to be good. And if you were 13 or if you were below 13, you went with the little kids. So my father, he was actually 11 years old. He said he was 14. He was always tall he said he was tall for his age. So him and my grandmother went the other way. Now, my grandmother, she was a beautiful woman. She had the black curly hair and the really piercing blue eyes. She was gorgeous. And she was tiny. She was below 4'11". And if she weighed 70 pounds soaking wet, that was a lot. My father tells me stories of the camp that you just wouldn't believe. And, you know, if my father hadn't told that one little lie, I wouldn't be here. He wouldn't be here. And my father made sure that I knew all the experiences he went through so that I would tell them to my kids. And I saw how much from his stories people wanted to live. You know, he was telling me about what they would go through with with Shabbat. You know, someone would save a little tiny crust of bread so that, you know, they could say the prayers welcoming Shabbat, and, you know, what they went through on Hanukkah. And my grandmother, she worked in the kitchen, and she would be bringing onion skins. That's what it was. She'd be bringing onion skins back because that, and, you know, carrot peelings, that was all they had to eat. That was it. And so that's another motivator for me too. That's a really powerful. I think about my father's stories, and, you know, I may be having a bad, rough day, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of people out there that had a worse day than what I had.
Yeah.
And so I try to keep that as I try to turn that negative into a positive, because I think that, okay, my problems aren't that bad, and, you know, girl, you got to cowboy up.
Yeah. I feel like if you're having a bad day and you still have this assurance that tomorrow is there, I don't think that's really a bad day, because there are people who at the very moment they don't know if they will make it to the next second. They don't even know.
You know, I went to Auschwitz about 10 years ago. If you have a family member that was there, you let them know, they'll take you to the barracks they used to be in. So I went to see the barracks my father and my grandmother was in. You wouldn't believe it, how they had people crammed in those, I mean, they would pack more than 100 people in an area meant for like 20. You just wouldn't believe it. It was
Stuff them like sardines.
It was a really sobering trip, but I'm glad I made it.
Yeah.
Because my father's not around anymore, but he left me all of his lessons. I remember every one of his stories, and I keep thinking back to them. And he made that. He made it through. It was the Russians that liberated them too. And then, as if that's not bad enough, once they were liberated, they were put in a tent, okay, in Switzerland. Imagine living in a tent in Switzerland. They waited for 2 years to get their visa to come to America. They had to wait. There was no walking across the border or anything. They had to wait 2 years for their visa. And then they sailed over and came in through Ellis Island. So, yeah, I have an interesting family story.
The follow-up question I would ask is, this story and background, did it influence you writing dystopian stories?
Yes, it did, actually. The reason why I write dystopian, I never really thought about writing dystopian before, but I was in a hurricane years ago. I lived on the Atlantic down in Florida, and this was a year we had 4 direct hits. The eye went right over my house. So finally, the last one came. I was like, me and my neighbors are like, we're sick of evacuating. I mean, we got paid by FEMA 3 times, and now the 4th one was coming. And we're like, that's it, we're staying. It was only supposed to be a Category 2, and in Florida, Category 2 is nothing. But after they locked the bridges down, that's when it went to a Category 4. And we're like, yeah. And then all the sand dunes were down. So I was sitting on my countertop. That's how high the water was. It came like about that far from the top of my counter. And all I pictured was Jaws swimming around there. So I had nothing left. I had nothing to drink. I had nothing to eat. Oh, wait a minute. I did have a can of sausage gravy now to have for breakfast. And that had to last me 2 or 3 days. And then when the the Salvation Army was the one that came over, they were giving us brooms and bleach, and they brought us a hot meal of spaghetti. I'll never forget. It was the best meal of my life. It was my first meal in like forever. So after I read in an article that 47% of women run the households in America. They're single household women. And I wrote a book called Tough Mama's Guide to Survival. And that's what meant for the women, how to thrive, not survive, but thrive. And I put in like what they should have in their house for medical needs. What should they have in their house for food? You know, a whole to-do guide. If they wanted to learn about radiation, FEMA offers free classes. I put the hyperlinks in there. And that's how I started writing about dystopian things. And it just took off from there because I really like to write fiction. And then I also have my degree in genetics. And so science comes natural. And in all my books, all my science is spot on. I may take some literary liberties sometime, but my science is always correct.
Yeah. Earlier on at the beginning of the call, you showed us the book, but it was very brief and in passing, so we couldn't even get the title. So could you hold it a little longer? Okay. By Dawn's Early Light. Okay.
This book scared me when I was writing it. I researched this book like no other book has been researched. This book scared me. I couldn't lay my head down at night. It's about the beginning of the book is about a nuclear bomb going off in New York. It's actually the bomb is planted in the sewer right under Wall Street, right under the stock exchange.
Yeah.
And about 2 or 3 months ago, there was a man arrested in Florida. He was planning on putting a nuclear bomb. He had a dirty bomb. He was going to put right under the stock exchange in the same sewer I was talking about.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the only thing that scared me. When I was doing my research, I was researching how the procedures go where the boats come in, the great big carriers. And actually less than 1% of them are actually checked. Now, what happens is, the worker goes, the inspector has his little gadget here that measures the radiation or anything, and he's just walking by. Well, there are about 10 different products that are that have naturally occurring radiation. Bananas, kitty litter, Brazil nuts. Crazy things, kitty litter of all things. And there's a few other things that are naturally radioactive. So my bomb got planted in a container containing these things.
Ooh.
And the person that was detonating all the bombs, I got to tell you a brief story. I have a house up north, my summer house, and they have an urban legend up there about the Indian Lakes Project. If you ever Google Indian Lakes Project blog, you got to put the blog in there. There was a secret CIA base that was located there, and they were doing brainwashing and all kind of psychological experiments on children there. And one of the things that they were doing was mind control. So that's who my bombers were. They were those grown-up children. And it was going for the defense contractors were running it. They were using the children. But yeah, that was a very scary book because all the scenes of the radiation, the radioactivity blasts that happened actually came from Hiroshima, Like I have a couple that was getting married in Trinity Church right down by the stock exchange. And when the radiation hit them, it left a picture of them on the wall. That actually happened in Hiroshima. That was really true. And they saved that, and they actually have it in a museum. And then there was another person they found. He was laying on the ground. He was alive yet. I mean, not for long, but he was still alive when they found him. His skull was vaporized, and he was laying on the ground, and it was just his brain there. His skull had vaporized, and the man was still alive. Not for long. But that was all true. All of that was true. It's all documented in Hiroshima.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was that book was very scary.
That's pretty intense research.
Yeah, and then it really gave me the creeps when that guy got arrested.
Yeah. Okay. If we want to check out the book, where can we find the book?
Oh, all of my books, if you go to Amazon, Jenny Ahmed, Ahmed, and you'll pull up my page and all of my books are there.
Okay.
I just had Utopia released, and that's about the first manned mission to Mars from a woman's point of view.
Yeah.
And my next one's coming out is Awake. That comes out next month.
Oh. Thank you so much, Jenny. Other than the Amazon page, do you have so can you tell us your social or websites where people can connect with you and just stay in touch on your project?
Yes, my website is Jenny, Jenny, Ahmed, AHMED.com. And my email is hello@jennyahmed.com.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I always love it when people have their full name as their domain name. It's such a huge flex.
Yeah, and you always remember it. You know, people always remember a name.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been an absolute
Thank you for
delight
having me. I
chatting
enjoyed
with
it.
you. You've been listening to Relatable Wisdom, and I've been your host, Wisdom Okonkwo. You've been listening to the podcast where every story, quote, and insight helps you see life a little differently. If you enjoyed today's episode, follow the show on your favorite podcast app and share it with someone who loved the conversation. For more inspiring voices and timeless wisdom, visit relatablewisdom.com. Until next time, keep living, learning, and collecting wisdom that matters most to you.